What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and what we are going to be making today is some homemade hot sauce. So if you're tired of going to the store and buying that bland stuff, Tabasco sauce, or you're tired of spending some money on the expensive stuff, I got your back. So anyway, let's get started. What we're going to be starting with is we got about 12 red jalapenos, about 5 habaneros. Now you don't need to put those in there if you don't want to. And then we have about 20 of these arbol chili peppers. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get these in your food processor, your blender. I did have about 6 garlic cloves in there. So we're going to get that in the food processor. Alright, so we have that good and mashed up. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the food processor, and then we will be back as soon as I get it into another bowl. See you in a bit. Alright guys, so we are back. We got the mash made here. Now, this next step, you could be real specific if you want, or you could just do it the way I'm going to tell you to do it. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you could do it, but the salt that you add right now is not for flavor. So I'm going with about a tablespoon of salt. Now what the salt is going to do is basically determine how fast or slow your mash gets fermented. So if you put a lot of salt in there, it's not going to ferment as fast. If you put a little bit of salt in there, the fermentation is going to be a little bit faster. I've done it both ways and I cannot tell the difference. All I do is look at it once it's fermenting, and you can tell, when to pull it out. So now I'm going to load this into my mason jar, my Kirby Q barbecue mason jar. By the way, that barbecue sauce was delicious. So I'm going to load this in this jar, then try to speed this up a little bit. Alright, so we got the mash in the jar. You can use a cheesecloth. What I'm going to use is just a piece of napkin, because we want it to be able to breathe. And I'm just going to do it like that. I may get like a little knife and poke a few holes in there. So we want it to breathe, but we don't want there to be a lot of air in there. Anyway, we're done with this for now. We're going to let this go for probably about 2 weeks. I'll check it every couple days. If I see it starting to ferment, we'll wrap this process up then. But next time you see me, we're going to be ready to finish this up. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and we are back after 17 days of fermentation. And we've been fermenting it in our Kirby Q barbecue sauce jar, so it has to be good, right? So anyway, outside of that, let's get back on that salt situation. I said just do what I say, or whatever. I think you can eyeball it. Specifically, you're going to want to put in about a tablespoon of salt per pint of mash. You can go less than that, it'll ferment faster. You can go more than that, it'll ferment slower. If you put too little salt in it, that will allow a little bit more bad bacteria in. So maybe that's not something you want to do, so just stick with the 1 tablespoon per pint. Anyway, we are at the point where it is time to go ahead and extract all this stuff out of this pulp. So that's going to be our next step, and we'll be on to that now. Alright everybody, so let's get this going. We're just going to dump this in here. If you have one of those fancy machines, that'll work. I forgot what they call them, pepper mill or something. That'll work, but I'm just rolling with what I got, which is just a regular strainer. So I'm going to try to push as much of this stuff through as possible. Once we are done with this, I'm gonna check it out and see how it tastes, and at that point we might have to add some vinegar or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll pick it up here in just a little bit. Alright, so we have ran this through this strainer. That's kind of what you're left with on top. I'm gonna go ahead and discard that right quick. So with what I have left here, looks like I got a little. With what I have left here is about maybe a bottle of like a large Tabasco sauce or whatever size bottle, and the fermenting really, I mean, I'm not even going to add any, I might just add a splash of vinegar to it. I mean, you can if you want to. This doesn't really need it. But just to be safe, as far as the salt goes, I don't know if the fermentation process brought in a bunch more salt than normal. But anyway, that's how I do hot sauce. I mean, that's better than just about anything that you can buy at a store. I'm going to go ahead and get that in my Ciroc bottle now. Boom. So that's it. So pretty much that is it. I mean, fermenting your peppers is going to give you a kind of subtlety that you just can't get if you just, some people I've seen boil them and then kind of strain them through or something like that. You're just not going to be able to get the same subtlety out of it. So give this a try. If you like hot sauce, just remember, get a mash, mix up your peppers. I did try this with jalapenos, and jalapeno peppers, and it didn't necessarily seem to work. Red peppers seem to work the best, mixed with maybe some green, but play around with it. I mean, every time you make this, every time you make some homemade hot sauce, it should turn out different. Because the peppers are going to be different, maybe the salt isn't exact, maybe you fermented longer, not as long, but just give it a try. If you like hot sauce, it's worth a try. Anyway, thanks for dropping by. No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, holler at your boy.